Good morning, my dear students. I am Padmini. I welcome you all to this live session. Today we are going to read a very interesting poem from your English book Honeydew, unit number 6, that is The Duck and the Kangaroo. This poem is about two friends, the duck and the kangaroo. So here the poet elaborates the desire of a duck that he confined within the limit of the pond to go beyond and travel the whole world like the kangaroo. Here the duck requests the kangaroo to take it on a trip and find a solution to the problems which the kangaroo would face. So the poem is about the two friends, two real friends, that is the duck and the kangaroo. Okay, then let's read the problem that kangaroo faces while doing that. Okay? Okay, so first we will discuss your first stanza of your book. Okay, say the first stanza. Said the duck to the kangaroo, good gracious, how you hope over the fields and water too. As if you never would stop. My life is a bore in this nasty pond, and I long to go out in the world beyond. I wish I could hope like you, said the duck to the kangaroo. So in this poem, we are talking about the two animals. One is duck and the kangaroo, and both are friends. So in the first stanza, the duck says something to kangaroo. What she says? She says that my life is a bore. I cannot move out of the pond. But at the same time, it expressed that the kangaroo could hope continuously over the fields and the water bodies. But the dog's life was completely boring. As it remained in the pond all the time, it wished to see the whole world beyond the limits of this pond. It wishes that it could also hope like the kangaroo. So one day, the duck told the kangaroo that her life is boring and she wants to move out of the pond. She wishes to see the whole world around, to which she cannot come out, because her life starts and ends in the same pond, and that too nasty pond. Nasty means the unpleasant and bad one. So if you will think about the duck and the kangaroo, she compares the life of the kangaroo and herself. Means at the same time, the kangaroo can move the whole world. It can hop, it can jump, it can run. But if we will think about the duck, its life is completely boring. She cannot go out of the pond. So what we can do? What somebody can do? Can the duck come out of the pond? Can the duck move whole world? Can it be possible? If the same question will ask to us, whether the dog can come out of the pond, whether it can move the whole world, can it hope like the kangaroo? Then the answer simply we will get the answer no. But when we will go to the next stanzas, we can understand that it can be possible. It can be possible because the problem of a friend can understand by a friend only. By a friend only. So it can be possible. So then what happens in the second stanza? Let's go there. Let's read the second stanza of your book. Okay? Please give me a ride on your back, said the duck to the kangaroo. I would sit quiet. I would sit quiet, still, and say nothing but quack. The whole of the long day through, and we would go to the lea and the jelly bolly, over the land and over the sea. Please take me a ride, or do, said the duck to the kangaroo. So in this second stanza, we have got some different kinds of words here. That is, D, jelly bolly. D, jelly bolly means what? This D, jelly bolly means go for the far away places. To move to the far away places. So it is an imaginary land. It is an imaginary land, and to go to the far away places. That is known as the jelly bolly. D, jelly bolly. So as we know, in the first stanza, the duck says to the kangaroo that she wanted to come out of this pond. She wants to move the whole world, or we can say she wishes to see the whole world. And here in the second stanza, the duck requests the kangaroo to give it a ride on its back. It promised that it would sit quiet and would just quack all day. As we know that quack, this sound is made by the duck. Every time they will make the quack quack sound. So here the duck says that I will do nothing. The whole day I will do nothing. Simply quack all day. The duck lists the places that they would visit as D and jelly bolly. D and jelly bolly is an imaginary place. Means to go away to the far away places. It adds that they would hop over the land and the sea. Means here, the simple creature, the duck, whose life is confined in a pond. It cannot come out of the pond. But here, she requested the kangaroo to show her the whole world by giving her a ride on his back. And she is telling that I will not make any kind of problem. Or she promised not to create any kind of problem. What? Only she will do quack, 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 nothing else. So just imagine here that to whom the duck is making the request. This is completely what this cannot be happen. We cannot imagine also that duck can come out and duck can move the whole world over the land and over the sea by sitting back of the kangaroo. Is it possible? Is it possible? Answer may come no. Answer may come yes. But at last what happened? Whether this duck and the kangaroo, they moved the whole world. They hopped over the land and the sea. Or they didn't. So let's discuss the third stanza of your book. Said the kangaroo to the duck, this requires some little reflection. Perhaps, on the whole, it might bring me luck. And these, there seems but no one objection. Which is, if you will let me speak so bold, your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold. and would probably give me the rheumatism, said the kangaroo. So in this stanza, we will get many difficult words. That is, first, reflection. Reflection means thought, pondering. Then rheumatism. Rheumatism refers to a disease of rheumatism. Means when somebody feels cold. So here, as we know that in the third stanza, says the kangaroo to the dog. So in the first stanza and the second stanza. In both the stanzas, in the first stanza, the dog wishes to see the whole world around. And how can see the whole world around? By sitting the back of the kangaroo. So in third stanza, the kangaroo said here, the kangaroo said to the dog, this requires a little reflection. Perhaps on the whole it might bring me luck, and there seems but one objection. The kangaroo replied that it had to think over it. The idea could be good for him, but he had one objection. And what is that objection? That your feet are unpleasantly wet and cold, and would probably give me the rheumatism, said the kangaroo. What is that objection? That the dog's feet and body, they are wet and cold. And the kangaroo says here, your cold and wet feet could give me my body pain, or I can suffer from the rheumatism. I can suffer from the rheumatism. So he is telling, it would be unpleasant to him bear the dog's wet feet. It would be unpleasant for him. The kangaroo replied that I have to think over it. I have to think over it. I have to give some reflection on it. No doubt, this idea can be very good. This idea could be very good for me. But the kangaroo had one objection. And what is that objection? The objection is that the dog always lives. The dog always lives in the pond. And her feet are always cold and wet. The cold feet and the cold and wet feet can make his body pain. He can suffer from the disease rheumatism, said the kangaroo to the duck. So let's read the stanza 4 of your book. Said the duck, as I sat on the rocks, I have thought over that completely, and I bought 4 pair of roasted socks, which fit my wet feet neatly. And to keep out the cold, I have bought a clock, and every day a cigar I will smoke, and to follow my own dear true love of a kangaroo. So here, in this 4th stanza, the dog is saying, what the dog is saying here? The dog is saying that it would be unpleasant for him to bear the dog's feet who said kangaroo said. When kangaroo said that it would be unpleasant for him or for me to bear the dog's wet feet, the dog assured that it won't be a problem, as he had already bought 4 pairs of woolen socks. The dog said that as it is set on the rocks up during the day, it had thought about it. In order to avoid that, in order to not make any problem, not to create any problem for Kangaroo, the dog had bought 4 pairs of frosted socks, which fitted its web-shaped feet well. The dog says here, in order to stay warm, it would wear a cloak. A cloak means a coat which covers the whole body, or you can say it's shrug, S-H-R-U-G, shrug. So it would wear a shrug, and not that much. The dog says here, I will smoke a cigar every day to make my body heat. The dog would do all this to protect the kangaroo as it was a beloved. So you can imagine the feeling of these animals with each other, to each other. Age that the kangaroo is, you can say that the kangaroo is in a very good manner. He said that I am unable to take you to the whole world because your cold bare feet can create the problem. May I suffer from the disease rheumatism. So when that kangaroo said these words to this dog, the dog said, Edge, the dog sat on the rocks during the daytime. It thought about that. The dog thought about that. That how can I avoid this problem? The dog bought the 4 pairs of roasted socks. Roasted means woolen socks, which can fit its web-shaped feet. Not that much. In order to stay warm or heat, the dog said, I would wear a shrug, means a coat, a cloak, which will cover my whole body. Not that much. Every day, the dog will smoke a cigar, that its body will be heat. In order to go to the whole world, in order to leave that nasty pond, because the dog from the first, it wishes to see the whole world. How it can go? With the help of the kangaroo. So let's go to your next stanza of your book, the last one. Said the kangaroo, I am ready, all in the moonlight fair. But to balance me well, dear duck, sit steady. And quite at the end of my tail. So away they went with a hope and a bound. And they hoped the whole world 3 times round. And who so happy? Oh, who? As the duck and the kangaroo. So in the last paragraph, we understood that the love between these two creatures, the duck and the kangaroo, everything can be possible. A simple creature whose life starts and ends in a pond, in a boring pond, in a nasty pond, it can come out with the help of a friend. It can move the whole world. Her wishes can come true with the help of the friends only. So here in the last stanza, the kangaroo says, yes, I am ready. Yes, I am ready. But when we will talk about the before stanza, then what there? Here also the same response. Who gives? The duck gives. The dog gives the same response. She says that I'll bring the pair of socks, the 4 pairs of socks. I have brought a clock and not that much that she would also smoke a cigarette to give her extra warmth also. So she gives the same response according to the problem which is created by this duck, that always she lives in a pond. Her body is completely cold. And the kangaroo, he lives in Australia, out of water. He can face the problem. His body can pain. Rheumatism can happen to him. So many problems are there. So not to create any problem, the duck had done something. She had brought everything what is required and to not to create any problem to this kangaroo. So in the last stanza, the kangaroo says, I am ready. I am ready. The kangaroo was completely satisfied with the duck's response and got ready for the ride. At night, when the sky was filled with the pale light of the moon, they started their trip with a hope. The kangaroo asked the dog to hold it firmly, and they traveled around the whole world. Not for one time or two times. They traveled the whole world for 3 times. Both of them enjoyed. In the last line of the stanza, and who so happy? Oh, who? Is the duck and the kangaroo. The question comes here, who is happy? The kangaroo always hopes the whole world. It can move, it can run, it can move the whole world, it can move through everywhere, through the land, through the well, through the pond, through the sea. But the dog's life is different. It is confined to some place only. So the poet asks here, the Edward Lear asks here, so who is happy? The dog or the kangaroo? But here is the duck and the kangaroo. So both of them enjoyed each other's company. So this is life. When you help someone, you become so happy. When you do for somebody else without any selfishness, then you become so happy. So giving something to other, you will get the more pleasure. If you will get something, you will not get the pleasure. But when you are giving something, you will get the real pleasure. So here the kangaroo gives, or he fulfills the wishes of the creature, that is duck, which is confined. When seeing someone happy, the kangaroo also became so happy. The duck wishes to move the whole one time, but they moved 3 times the whole world. And both, how they moved? Because they love each other's company. They love each other's company. So without the literary devices, a poetry cannot be done. Here, Edward Lear has used many literary devices. So if we will talk about the rhyme scheme, the first stanza is A, B, A, B, C, C and A, A. The first stanza is A, B, A, B, C, C, A, A. And the second stanza, that is A, B, A, B, C, C, B, B. And the stanza 3rd, 4th and 5th. The same rhyme scheme the poet has followed here. That is A, B, A, B, C, C, D, D. And second one, that is alliteration. These are known as the figures of speech. So what is an alliteration? The repetition of a consonant sound at the start of two or more closely placed words. If you think about good gracious, so G, good gracious, G is known as the alliteration here. How you hope, H, how you hope, H and H, this is known as the alliteration. Sit quite still and say, sit quite still and say, S, S 3 times used here, that is known as the alliteration. But to balance, B is known as the alliteration. Dear duck, that's D, whole world, W. Next figure of speech is anaphora. So what is anaphora? Anaphora means when the same word is used at the start of the two or more conjugative lines. Instances of anaphora in the poem are. That is, and to keep out the cold, I have bought a clock, and every day a cigar I will smoke. And another one, and they hope the whole world 3 times round. And who's so happy? Oh, who? Both the pairs of the sentence begins with and. This is known as anaphora. Okay? Then the next figure of speech is refrain. So what is refrain? The use of a musical rhyming sentences throughout the poem. Say the duck to the kangaroo has been repeated to lay stress on the request made by the duck to the kangaroo. Refrain means the use of a musical rhyming sentences throughout the poem. That is, say the duck to the kangaroo. Say the duck to the kangaroo. Okay? Next figure of speech is enjambment. Enjambment. When the same sentence continues in 2 or more lines. Like, and I bought 4 pairs of frosted socks, which fit my web feet neatly. All to follow my own dear true love of a kangaroo. So this is known as the enjambment. So these are the figures of speech the poet has used in this poem, the duck and the kangaroo. Okay? So this is about your poem, the duck and the kangaroo. But without knowing the theme of the poem, can the poem be completed? No, that should not be. So what is the theme of this poem, the duck and the kangaroo? In this poem, the duck and the kangaroo is a nonsensical poem. It is a nonsensical poem. But with reading between the lines shows that it actually deals with the significance of love for adventure. What is adventure? Adventure makes life worth living, and it adds color and joy to the life. The poem also deals with the theme of friendship. Here, the two animals, they are giving respect to each other, or we can say they are giving respect the feelings of each other. The kangaroo and at the same time the duck. Because love is reciprocal, feeling is reciprocal. So at the same time, the poem deals with adventure. At the same time, it deals with the theme of friendship. Friends, who are friends? Who helps each other. Not only give joy, but also experience happiness themselves. As we can understand the last line, who is happy? Who is happy? The duck and the kangaroo both are happy because they know what is friendship. They know they can understand the feeling of each other. So the theme of the poem is adventure. Why? Adventure is such a thing which makes life worth living, and it adds joy, color to life. To lead a happy life, we must need some adventure in our life. At the same time, to lead a happy life, to lead a peaceful life, we need the real friends who only doesn't help us. They make our life something else. We can experience happiness. This is the theme of the poem. So my dear students, are you thinking why the poet has chosen the title here, The Duck and the Kangaroo? Can you think? Why? Because the two opposite animals, you can say. One is staying in a nesty pond and another one staying on the land. So here we are talking about the two characters, the two different characters, we can say, the duck and the kangaroo. Revolves around the two characters, the duck and the kangaroo. So it is a dialogue between the two of them, and the poem narrates the story of their adventure. Hence, the title The Duck and the Kangaroo is a very apt one. Because, as I said, when we talk about the theme, that this poet suggests, or this poem shows us that the adventure and friendship means two opposite characters, two different kind animals can be friend. They can live happily. So it is only a dialogue delivery between the two animals. And it narrates the story of their adventure. How they became successful in their life. Though when we start this lesson, the duck and the kangaroo, when we start this poem, the duck and the kangaroo, we thought that what the wish has been done by the dog. What the wish has been done by the dog, that was completely impossible. Cannot be done. It cannot be successful one. But the duck was successful because they can understand their feeling and problem of each other. So I think the duck and the kangaroo, or the title, hence the title, the duck and the kangaroo, is a very apt one. Okay? So my dear students, from this poem, what message you are getting? What message? What message does this poem give you? So the first and the most important thing is that be generous. Be generous. Always hold positive qualities. Admire the capabilities of others. So you can win many friends. You can win many good friends. And these qualities make your life very enjoyable and worthwhile. And the duck and the kangaroo. If we will think about the duck's life, she always stays in a very nasty pond. She cannot think. She cannot think that she can move the whole world. But it can be possible. As we know that the feelings are reciprocal. Love is reciprocal. So this poem gives the message that those who are generous in acknowledging and appreciating the capabilities of others also gain from it. Not that much, Admiration and politeness are positive qualities that make others comfortable. And these qualities help you to win very good friends and makes our life very comfortable, enjoyable and worthwhile. So always be generous. Always positive qualities. Hold positive qualities. So you will get success in your life. You can make your life more enjoyable and worthwhile. So admire others. Admire the good qualities of others. So you can win the heart of others. That is only life. And you can get many good friends. And you can make your life very enjoyable. And at the same time, worthwhile. Okay? From this point, we understood that our politeness and humility that compels others to accept our request. As we read in the poem that the duck politely requests the kangaroo to make her visit the beautiful world. And the kangaroo accepts her request. So if we want to get our work done by others, we have to be polite and humble to them. We cannot get any kind of work done forcefully. Mind it. If we force someone to do some work, he or she would do that work reluctantly. Hence, the work would not be perfect. The work would not be perfect. Because if we will force someone, they would do it reluctantly, unwillingly. So the work cannot be perfect. So we should always request somebody politely to get our work done. But remember one thing. If someone does our work, we should feel grateful to him or her. And be ready to him to help him or her as well. So always be polite and humble. So you can win the whole world. My dear students, I think that you have understood this. Thank you.